Good afternoon and welcome to Parshat Noach. Last year, during the election campaign in the United States of America, many Americans considered lots of different important items that they needed to vote for. But aside from the presidential race that was taking place in Colorado, there was one referendum that may have seemed insignificant to some, but was extremely important to many. It was a referendum about bringing, no less, gray wolves back to Colorado. Let me explain. Until 1940, gray wolves used to roam the Colorado Rockies, but the wolves began to prey on livestock, so the government agencies culled them and eliminated their existence in Colorado. Some people last year were advocating to let the wolves roam freely again, arguing that these wolves can very simply coexist with the population without harming farms. The opponents were not convinced, and they claimed the wolves should remain in contained environments rather than being allowed to roam freely. It really is a loaded question. Can human beings coexist with predatory animals? There's a very familiar imagery, striking imagery, that takes place at the end of the days with, please God, the coming of Mashiach. Yeshayahu in Perek Yudalef, chapter 11, tells us, V'ger ze'ev im keves, v'namer im gedi irbatz, v'egel uchfir umeri yachdav, v'nar katon noheg bam. The concept that at the time of the Mashiach, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the kid, the calf will lie down with the beast of prey, and there'll be a small boy to herd them. Rabbi Joshua Flug raised the question, and he said, why do we look at the times of Mashiach as a day when everybody can coexist? It's this week's parasha. In this week's parasha, the animals of prey are living in the same small quarters as the goats inside the ark, as the smaller farm animals, and they don't attack each other. So the very famous Rav Meir Shapiro of Lublin, the father, so to speak, who created the Daf Yomi movement, suggests that there are two models that exist in this world for peace. The Teva, the ark, was a model of living peacefully, but only in times of crisis. That peace is very short-lived, he said. The reason the animals didn't attack each other in the ark, in the Teva, because it was an emergency situation. But as soon as the crisis passes, that peace disappears, it dissipates, it no longer exists. Yeshayahu's peace in the future discusses a long-lasting peace, a long-lasting shalom, an everlasting shalom. Not based on crisis, but by an idealism, by a desire to live peacefully with one another. And I think what's true of animals is very true of people. Friends, we do a very good job of getting along with everyone when we have a crisis. Ramesh Shapiro says it's like a group of people who get caught in a storm, so they all seek shelter under the same building, under the same roof. And you think about this diverse group of people, they'll never be under the same roof. They're never going to be united, because when the rain stops, they all go about on their own ways. Our challenge today, more than ever before, is to find a way to get along with other people simply because that's how it should be. And yes, it's challenging, and yes, it's difficult, but that's the way it should be. And I think if we do learn to do this, if we do absorb this message, then please God, we can merit, we can be zocheh, to experience that prophecy of Ger Ze'evim Keves, the idea of the wolf lying together with the lamb, with the coming of the Mashiach. Speedily in our days. Amen. Amen. Shabbat shalom.